told a bit of a lie there. It's 23 years, the original ELO, but this is ELO Part II.
It is.
And you're the man who rekindled the flame.
I guess it's my responsibility more than anyone else's, yeah.
What made you do it eventually? What pushed you?
Well, the last ELO gig of the old ELO was 1986.
Yeah.
Actually, we finished on a high note at Wembley Stadium with Rod Stewart, 50 or 60,000 people. And then a couple of years later, we'd all worked with different people, but there's a lot of response from the old fans saying, you know, when's ELO coming back? And a lot of us were getting the itch to get back on the road and play ELO music again. So I spoke to my old partner, Jeff Lynne, and asked him if he fancied taking it out one more time, and he said no, he wanted to carry on with all the production stuff that he was doing, particularly in Los Angeles. And that's when ELO Part II came to be, really.
Because it took you quite a while to assemble the lineup you wanted, didn't it? Because, Louis, you weren't an original member, were you?
Not as such, but I've been associated with the band since 1974, with the El Dorado album, which was the first one which we ever had a great big outside orchestra added to the band. And so I've always worked on the albums ever since then.
Yeah, because you're the man who's credited with the string
right.
sound of the whole band, really. But you had quite a classical background as well, didn't you?
Well, kind of. I did actually start in the music business playing bass guitar here in Birmingham with Raymond Froggatt. But I got more into arranging and orchestration and that kind of thing, so I kind of left the band. And I went to music college after 6 years playing bass guitar.
But you were involved in Hooked on Classics, that one?
Yeah, well, that's been very kind to me, actually. That was, oh wow, that was 1981. I wrote all the arrangements and conducted the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra on, all that kind of, on that whole series.
Now, you had quite a maiden tour with ELO Part II, with the Moscow Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, this was about 4 years ago now, and it was the time of the wall coming down, the glasnost thing, east meets west, and we really thought that if anyone's going to get on, it's going to be musicians, so it would be a nice idea for a Western band to play with an Eastern orchestra, and the Moscow Symphony came highly recommended. Lou and I went over to Moscow, met the conductor, and got very excited by the whole idea.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah, very much so, yeah. And he was a very excitable sort of chap, actually. He conducted the orchestra at the end. We let all these fireworks off, all this pyro went off at the end of the show. And he actually wore a crash helmet because he thought it would damage his eardrums.
Because I always kind of imagine that classical musicians would look at a pop group. What do they want to do with us? Not that attitude
maybe
at all.
some, but not these guys.
No, I find that a lot of people think that classical musicians have got that attitude, but a lot of them are far from it. You know, a lot of them are far more crazy than rock and roll people. Yeah. A lot more crazy. Especially in Britain, they've got a great attitude. I think the orchestral musicians here, they're so versatile. Like with the Hooked On stuff, you think people would look down their nose at that, but all the guys in the orchestra, they loved it.
It must be a nightmare, though, touring with an 80-piece orchestra.
Yeah, it didn't work, to be honest. I mean, that's why we don't tour them anymore, really. It was great for about a week, and then we ran out of money and food. And now we go to them, you know. We've just done an American tour, and we worked with the Atlanta Symphony. But we went to them. We went to Atlanta, and there they were, and we played with them. And we went to Poland, and we worked with the Warsaw Symphony. So that's the way we do it now. Occasionally we'll do a show with a symphony orchestra in their city.
Right. Do you go in first and sort it all out, and then the lads come in later?
Well, yeah, I have a rehearsal with them first, and then we have a little sound check, get the sound on the orchestra, then we do it all together. Right. I mean, you couldn't have done this 20 years ago. The technology wasn't there. You'd never be able to hear the orchestra above the rock and roll instruments. But now, in this modern age, the technology's here, and it works really well. Right.
You've got a new album out at the moment. Tell me about it.
We recorded it earlier this year. We spent a couple of months in America, and we finished it off in England. It's called Moment of Truth. And it's all new songs, all written by everybody in the band has contributed towards the writing. And we're really, really pleased with it. We really think that we're hoping people will like it a lot and try, get us hopefully back in those album charts again.
Because you've emerged as a bit of a lyricist in the last few years, haven't you?
It's something I've started doing, yeah. I've really enjoyed it. It's something I never had a chance to do much in the past. And I find when I'm at home, mowing the lawns or walking the dogs, it's a great time to
Yeah,
to
to
think
write
about
things out, yeah.
the lyrics, yeah.
You're touring again in September?
Yes,
that right?
yeah, we start, the British tour starts on the 24th in Doncaster, and we tour for about a month in Britain.
Now, we had a quick look at the tour dates. Is there one in Birmingham?
Well, they're not finalised yet, but there's certainly some in the Midlands, so I'm hoping that we've got some great fans as well. They follow us all over the place.
There
They're
he is.
brilliant.
There he is today.
I know if you're here today.
Now, we're going to hear your... We're going to hear your new single a little bit later in the programme, but for the moment, Louis Clark and Bev Bevan, thanks very much.
Thank you.